Thank
wow, wow.
you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Thank you, Omar.
thank you, Sandeep.
Thanks for filling this audience. Thanks for getting out there on the street and just barking to get this audience in the room, man. I really appreciate you taking that time.
I've just been woofing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't.
These dogs are
know what you
barking.
mean.
These dogs are actually in the last episode. The dog was barking. So
That's true. The dog was barking. No dog today?
no, the dog's
People
downstairs.
are going to be confused.
Dog's downstairs.
So there's a potential for
There's potential.
the dog to show.
So
Yeah,
you know,
we'll see.
keep an ear out. Keep an ear out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my co-host formally and officially. He is the 13th juror from Trump's recent indictment and guilty verdict. Ladies and gentlemen, Omar Najam. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I can say it now that I was on the jury. At the time, it was a little spicy to say.
Oh, I can't wait for your book.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's unrelated. It's an Animorphs fanfic that I wrote. Folks, I would like to introduce, your host for this week. But actually, let's take a second. I want to talk about Pride really quick because we're in the month of June right now. I want to wish everyone a very happy Pride. I've got my little ace card right here like I'm Gambit.
Ooh.
And, of course, this upcoming weekend, we got Ricky Martin singing at the Pride Picnic, which is very exciting. And one of my favorite songs of his is Livin' La Vida Loca. Fun fact, that song is actually about our host, Sandeep Parikh.
Who doesn't like a nice long walk intro? You know, who doesn't? Who doesn't? As always, who is determined as co-host and host is based upon who wins the game every week, and of course I took it down. I don't know if we have an overall tally. We're gonna need someone to go through and tally it out, but I feel like we're pretty neck and neck. But who cares? Because the point is I'm host right now, and that means I get to tell you guys, our listeners, that this show, ABCD, American-Born Chatty Desis, is a podcast within a live stream, within our two lives as American-Born Desis. This is for anyone out there who, like us, are navigating our cultural identities and just want to chat it out.
Yes. And we are so excited because, folks, we have such a good show ready for today. Do you want to know what's on tap for today, Sandeep? Do you want to know what we're going to talk about?
I am begging you to tell me.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to kick it off with Auntie versus Auntie Watch 2024. We might have some updates.
I think there's an update or two.
We might have a couple updates. Then we're going to chat about what's got us confused, things from the news that we're reading about, tidbits, information that we want to just hash out and know how we feel about. Then we've got a beautiful interview set up with a beautiful guest. We, of course, have our segment, Not a Doctor, featuring this week Mr. Vince Caso.
Yes, not a Dr. Vince Caso.
If you are a fan of watching him on the show, fortunately he's doing double duty because he'll be joining us for our game. That's right. This is going to be called Omar's Fantastical Text-Based Gauntlet of 1,000 Nightmares.
Okay, great.
Y'all have no idea how much work Delvin's put into this week's game. It is so good.
Oh my gosh.
In our run of the show, it says about 10 minutes. It's going to take longer. Buckle in. Finally, we'll wrap up with our Desi of the week. But first, before we hop in, can I talk about our sponsors? Would that be okay?
Please.
First,
rhetorical
and foremost,
question. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about our first sponsor, DesiQuest. It's a Dungeons & Dragons 5e campaign that stars me and a little gentleman by the name of Sandeep Parikh, as well as Rekha Shankar, Anjali Bhamani, and a collection of amazing guests, all set in the original South Asian mythology-inspired world from the brilliant mind of star GM Jasmine That Bronze Girl Buller. All the episodes are out right now, which means you can watch the whole dang thing over at DesiQuest.com. And if you become a citizen of the DesiQuest world by signing up at patreon.com/DesiQuest, you can watch the whole thing ad-free, as well as every episode of our after show podcast, streams with our character artist Voodoo Val. I might have hopped on maybe one or two of those as well, and so much more. So check that out at patreon.com/DesiQuest.
And just to editorialize, those after show podcasts were fantastic, phenomenal.
Yes.
If you really want to dive into what it takes to create an actual play from the brains of Jasmine, if you're into the show or you're into actual plays or D&D in general, this is such a cool. You can learn a lot. All right, speaking of things to check out, we want to shout out our friend Johnny Stanton, who recently launched his podcast called the Athletics Check Podcast. And that's with Johnny Stanton IV, where Johnny sits down with nerds and athletes to discuss their passions and hobbies beyond those domains that they're known for. For episode 2 on Athletics Check, Johnny interviews Reed Sinnett, who plays for a team called the Brahmas.
Oh.
He's a pro football, he used to play for like the Bengals and a whole bunch of other, in the Patriots and stuff like that. He was a backup QB for a lot of these NFL teams. Now he plays for the San Antonio Brahmas. This is how it's appropriate to our show, ABCD. They take one of our main gods and turn it into a mascot. And the team is owned and operated by none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now, I guess what you're thinking. Another egregious example of cultural appropriation by a sports franchise with no regard to sensitivities of cultural heritage behind it. There's only one problem. No, they didn't name the team after Lord Brahma, referred to as the creator from Hinduism. No, Omar, they named the team after chicken.
Oh.
That's right. They're named after their mascot, the Brahma chicken.
Okay.
So the Brahma is an American breed of chicken. It was bred in the United States from birds imported from the Chinese port of Shanghai and was the principal American meat breed from the 1850s until about 1930. So they're named after the chicken Brahma.
I need to know what happened in 1930. Where we
just all
changed
ended.
chickens midstream.
We sure did.
My God.
So those are our sponsors for this. Why don't we jump right in to Auntie versus Auntie Watch 2024.
Let's go.
Normally we don't lead off with this, so you know this is big. We got some big news, right? This is our segment, though, where we track the 2024 U.S. presidential election to see how close we are to achieving our dream, Omar, my dream, of a presidential race between two aunties, Democratic auntie Kamala Harris and Republican auntie Nikki Haley. Reminder that they are both part Indian, hence they are in fact aunties, and that's like an actual potential reality.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially maybe this week.
I will say, in terms of Nikki Haley on that end, but Nikki Haley said that she'd be voting for Trump. She announced that she will vote for Donald Trump in November during an event at the Hudson Institute, which means that kind of puts us back. So we're probably, honestly, probably like 0%.
Oh, no, we're at 18, but sure.
Yeah, but like emotionally,
for dramatic
we're kind of
purposes.
at 0%. Nikki Haley said she's going to vote for Trump. That's kind of it. End of story. You know what, though? There is an update I do have here, which is that a jury found Donald Trump guilty on all 34 charges of the felony crimes related to a 2016 election interference scheme. Do you think that changes our number a little bit?
I think so. I think it does. He's a 34-time felon. Right? This is pretty wild. Of course, Trump expressed a bunch of anger and claimed that the trial was rigged because that's his thing. Yeah. The sentencing is set for July 11th, just before the RNC, the Republican National Convention. Yeah. Honestly, this could not get any more reality show. His conviction exposes Trump to potential actual prison time.
Yes.
And of course, he's expected to appeal. And despite the conviction, Trump plans to continue campaigning. And he's already fundraising off of this. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so it's getting wild.
I want to remind all of you where this started, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, there are many legal warriors out in the world who are trying to ensure that the law of the land is implemented. But Auntie versus Auntie Watch 2024, that was right here. We were the first ones to track this particular race. That's a very interesting thing. I think that at the end of this segment, we're going to update our standing, but a pretty huge update for Auntie versus Auntie Watch 2024.
Huge. What is crazy, though, is that Republicans are continuing to support Trump. They just dismiss the trial as politically motivated. But this is crazy, guys. This is a historic moment. The first criminal trial of a former American president. Yeah. And I believe the first time a convicted felon is one of the two main parties' nominees. We are in the upside down fully. On the Harris side, I won't spend too much time on this, but to sort of see how it might happen, it might shake out for Harris becoming a nominee. She's taking on more presidential duties. She's going to represent the U.S. at the Swiss Peace Summit for Ukraine.
Oh, and so she's going and not President Biden. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Her mission is to underscore the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to supporting Ukraine's quest for peace, sovereignty, and territorial integrity.
Yeah.
Say that 5 times fast. say five times fast. I couldn't even do it once. Yeah, the White House is defending Biden's absence here, emphasizing his strong support for Ukraine globally. President Joe Biden, he's going to attend the campaign fundraiser in Los Angeles instead because it's hosted by George Clooney and Julia Roberts. So, look, he wants some FaceTime with these really hot celebrities. You blame the guy?
No, hold on. Before you get too excited, Mr. Hollywood hotshot ivory tower over here, I've seen a couple movies, all right? If we're talking about the likelihood of someone running and someone being trapped in the vault of a casino, I think going to a fundraising event hosted by George Clooney and Julia Roberts smacks a little bit of an Ocean's 11 reboot, if I'm being completely honest. So
oh, amazing. Anyway, I think it's time. Let's update our number. Last time we were at 18%. I'm going to throw this out there, Omar.
Mm-hmm.
What if we just jump straight up to 34%?
I was going to say 30. I was going to lowball you. Let's go to 34. I love it.
34. Ocean's 34. I love it. So we're jumping to 34%. Now, I don't know. There's a lot of people, of course, saying that this trial is going to help Trump, which maybe can be the case. I'm still holding out hope that some people out there believe that the being judged by a jury of your peers is still a thing that we hold to be somewhat sacred as an American system of blah, blah, blah.
It was all 34 counts, right? It
was all 34.
Yeah.
All 34.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I think I want to believe. I want to believe that there are people out there that go, you know what? He's a convicted felon. I can't do it. So 34%. We're upgrading our number. Let's go.
Let's go, folks. And let's go over to our next segment, which is What's Got Us Confused. All right, Sandeep, let's blast through a couple of these because a lot of news happened since the last episode. One big thing is that the election closed out in India. This is the biggest democratic election. 640 million votes were cast in the marathon election held over a span of 6 weeks.
2 full Americas voted.
Yeah, so the elections are still being tallied, but there's been some early calls. The win being claimed, of course, is by Modi himself and the BJP in terms of that top seat. That said, the BJP did actually lose a bunch of seats, showing a weakness in the confidence in the party itself, and they are going to have to rely on some of their allies in order to get things passed and done. So while Modi did win, it wasn't this landslide sweeping situation where he will not have to work with anyone in terms of passing legislation. What are you thinking about that?
I'm thinking, I think checks and balances, that's a good thing in general, I would say, considering the BJP's stances as it relates to minorities. So probably a good thing for more people to be in the conversation. Was interesting that 640 million was actually a low voter turnout.
Yeah.
Which was raising the hopes of the opposition. But, exit polls do show that it's probably going to go Modi's way. Yeah. I know my dad's happy because he's hardcore Modi. I guess what's confusing about this is that Modi's popularity around infrastructure projects and Hindu majority appeals and alliances contributed to their success in the South. There's a lot of places that they thought he'd have more vulnerabilities that didn't quite work out in that regard. Yeah. I don't know what it means for India's future. I think what's confusing about the whole thing, and I wish I was more honestly informed about India's politics, but listen, I just want things to work out well.
Yeah.
And I hope that maybe with opposition having gained some of these seats that they'll have a bigger seat at the table in terms of having policies that are friendlier to everyone there, because there's a lot of infrastructure things that Modi did do that really also seem to help the country. I don't know, it's confusing. I wish I knew all about it. I don't. What are you thinking, Omar? You got any hot take?
Pretty similar. I think that if this was what the BJP was predicting to be the landslide vote, I think I'd probably have less to say, where it's the shrug of, okay, I see where this is going. But since it's mixed, I think this might be an ongoing conversation for the show to figure out and get a little pulse of what's going on in India and how people are feeling about this. Maybe they like the promises of the leader, but not the individual politicians, which often happens in political parties that are centered around one individual and not a greater philosophical sort of thesis. It'll be very interesting. I'm confused and curious by these election results.
Okay, so that's where you're going to land on rating the story. Confused?
Yeah,
curious.
I
like
confused but curious. But speaking of the election, our producer Nan sent us some pics from his family after voting and wanted to share these with all of you. So if you didn't know, the Election Commission uses indelible ink or voter ink to prevent fraud or duplicate votes. Once a voter casts their ballot and has their ID verified, the ink is painted across the top of their left index finger, leaving a stain that can take up to 2 weeks to wash off. This method has been in place for more than 7 decades. Everyone from the Prime Minister... Tattoo. It's a tattoo. Everyone gets this. Everyone gets the voting tattoo. Everyone gets inked up. And the thing about this, because we in the U.S. have stickers that you can voluntarily put onto your person if you so wish, but this kind of creates a peer pressure because people can see if you voted. And
for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We like the henna tattoos. We like them to last a little while.
Yeah.
It's the vibe there. Yeah. So it does encourage people to vote. It's pretty cool. I like it. I dig it. Maybe we should check out my temporary tattoo. This is from
Did you get that for voting? What is that, a Stratocaster with a rose?
Yeah. It's a dragon with the Stratocaster, and I did get it for voting in the most rockin' section of India.
Vote for the coolest mythical Gibson creature.
Yeah, exactly. Vote for your cryptid, your favorite cryptid. All right, let's jump to story number 2.
Yeah.
You guys, as always, we love to have us an animal story, and scientists are learning to speak whale.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
That's right.
A little bit behind Finding Nemo, but okay. Yeah.
Scientists have had a conversation with a whale in a world's first. A humpback whale approached a research vessel after hearing a throp noise from an underwater speaker. The whale circled the boat, surfaced, and then dived again, echoing the call back. Yeah, in 2021, a team of 6 scientists played a recording of the humpback greeting call off the coast of southeast Alaska. They were stunned when a humpback whale named Twain, as in Mark Twain, responded in a conversational manner. Okay, Josie Hubbard, an animal behaviorist studying for her PhD at the University of California, Davis, describes experiencing another world when encountering humpback whales. She heard them come to the surface, saw their big breath, and observed them as a group, which she found absolutely incredible. Yeah, in rare instances, whales may approach. In this case, a 38-year-old humpback whale moved to the boat, circled it for 20 minutes, and yeah, it started their haunting songs, which flow across the ocean, as we know, and this is what whales do. They can talk, and this actually happened with these scientists. Pretty fucking crazy. They had a conversation. What do you think they talked about?
Just like stuff, probably the election.
Yeah. Do you think it was those like 3 a.m. college chats where you're just like,
do you ever think about
what does it all mean?
How big it is? What if we're all in a cardboard box? What's beyond the cardboard box?
Like, I had mushrooms and I became a mushroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was reading The Economist. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone dumped a bunch of economists in the trash and it made it to the ocean, and the humpback whale read it. I think that's what. I love it. Vince is in chat saying, let's sink another fucking yacht. Yeah, maybe that's... It was just all aggressive. Like, let's eat this boat. This is so out of left field, but I'm reading this book, Homo Deus, and I literally read a chapter about, like, how we as humans we don't know what it feels like to be in the reality of another animal. And so we have our own perception of the world, and we think we're so dominant and all this stuff. We've obviously dissected these animals and have discovered things. In a whale, there's a whole section of the limbic system of the brain that we don't even know what it does. So we have no idea how would feel to be a whale. But it is a huge section with a whole bundle of neurons that does something, but we just have
no idea.
Zero idea what... Yeah, it could be a better reality to be a whale.
I saw a documentary
That's what I want
about
to be in
whales.
my next life. Yeah, so I guess researchers are trying to find out still what whales are trying to actually say. Sorry, I just realized there's a whole nother section down here that I was supposed to read, and so I'm looking it over right now. But yeah, they don't know what they said. All they know is that the humpback whale said something, and they responded, and they did like callbacks, and that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I think this is
and the conversation
so
lasted 20
rad.
minutes, dude. 20 minutes.
This is so sick. I absolutely love this.
Researchers say that their encounter could be the first step towards communication with non-human intelligence.
The Desi folks with us, right? Because it's the same approach of like they have a language, it's completely unlike ours.
Yes, the SETI folks, for those of you who don't know, is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Yes, so they are a part of that SETI research team hoping to understand communicative complexity and intelligence of humpback whales. I guess it might have been 20 minutes because the whales just speak really slowly and it was just like one sentence. What's up? That's it. What's up?
I would say for this, I'm informed and curious. I learned some stuff. As many of you know, I had a double major with marine biology for a hot second in college. This is great. I'm making jokes, but this is genuinely a dream come true. It's so
really
cool
exciting
to be alive while this is happening.
Yeah. Of all the scientific achievements that are happening right now that are freaking me the fuck out, this one actually gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah, this is great. Let's do more of this.
Can we just celebrate this for a second? Because I've just been... It's all been all doom and gloom, so it's weirdly nice. But
First
guess
whales,
what?
then
Now
pros.
the whales are going to take our jobs.
Oh,
yes,
how are
I
you
feel
feeling?
informed.
Great.
Informed.
Great.
Yeah.
Very good.
Right.
Very good. I got one last story for you here, Sandeep.
Okay.
You want to bet that I can impress you with this story?
I bet you one humpback whale.
Okay. I'll settle for $5 because soon you can make a friendly $5 wager on arcade games at, you guessed it, Dave and Busters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yep.
More, just what the world needs, more gambling.
Yeah. Dave & Busters will start
cool.
using the gamification software company Lucra to help them place bets on games that you'll be playing at Dave & Busters. Sounds like something you would want to take part in?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I don't know, man. This whole, like, legalization of betting thing is... I don't think it's good. It doesn't... Call me an old-fashioned guy, but I remember a time when you went to Vegas you went to a place to go explore your sins. Now your sins are in your pocket. And they go around with you everywhere. And you can just sin, 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 sin. I just feel, is this helping us? Is this good? I don't know.
Let's devil's advocate for a quick second about this.
By all means.
You're having a boring time at Dave & Busters, but you want to do a little pick-me-up. And you go, let's put 5 on it. But you can't agree exactly on how to balance it out or who can, navigate that gambling you do. Now you have a Dave & Busters app that you'd be able to log in and bet each other the money on it.
But couldn't you just bet with your friends there anyway on your own? So is this like connecting people across other Dave & Busters? Is that what's happening?
That's a really good question. Let me go ahead and read you a quotation from Lucra CEO Dylan Robbins that was expressed on CNN, and maybe this will clear things up. Friendly competition really is a big fuel for our economy. Whether you're playing golf on Sunday with your buddies, which I do a lot, or you're going to play pickleball, or video games, or even cornhole at a tailgate.
Don't you bring my love of pickleball into this.
Or there's so many ways that you can compete with friends and family, and I think gamifying that and digitizing all this offline stuff that's happening is a massive opportunity.
We got to gamify games. Games have been just ungamified for too long, and it's time to finally fucking gamify them. You know
I think
what
we need to gamify games. Can I read you another quotation, Sandeep? So this is from the company's subreddit. I don't get it. Hey man, bet you $5 I can beat you at shooting hoops. Okay, but put it in the app so Dave & Busters can take a cut.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just really feel like Dave & Busters deserves a little bit of this. Yeah, it's like instead of tipping, you just give a table rake. That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Here.
How you feeling about this? Pro or con? You've been a little unclear.
Is there a sad for the world rating? Or I don't know. It's fine. I think it's bad for the world. That's what I think. That's what I'm at. So Baffled?
Okay, Baffled. All right. That's fair.
Yeah. That's fair. I wish I had more to say. Where you're at with the story?
Where I'm at.
Yeah.
Me, a majority shareholder in Lucra, Sandeep, I'm bringing this app to ABCD. I'm bringing this app to Wikipedia D&D. I'm bringing back the Among Us streams that y'all were chatting about before we went live, and I'm having us place bets on Among Us. It is going to be digital betting empire. From this, I will build my temple, and I'm so excited for you to live in my future, my friend. And you will see the light soon of placing little $5 bets just by hitting a little button. And when we do that bubble game where it's the two alligators that have to do like the little bubbles to the colors, it's going to make that game so exciting for you.
I got to tell you, when you said bet on the Among Us, that actually gave me a little tickle of that actually would be fun.
Oh, no. Oh, no. My JSA training is being too powerful.
You weirdly did a little bit sell me on that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that you were too good. All right, speaking of Among Us streams, it is time to get to our special interview segment, Not a Doctor. We search out far and wide to find somebody out there who we love, who has a cool job or career that, that's right, is not a doctor. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring out the love of our collective lives, Vince Caso.
Hi, everyone. Whoa.
Vince.
There he is. There he is.
Vince, it's wonderful to have you here, man.
Vince, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining us.
Man, I'm doing good.
All right, so for those of you unaware of the great Vince Caso, I have a good history with this man. We both starred in the Guild together. The Guild, of course, is Felicia Day's web series that went crazy viral and had Vince and I and the rest of the cast touring the world. I think we're getting close to 1 billion views on the show, I believe is the thing.
God, probably.
I might be making that up and lying.
We're in the Smithsonian.
We're in the Smithsonian. That's crazy.
Wait, really?
It's so
Take a
weird.
second. It's so weird. Yeah, we are in the Smithsonian. There's a Guild exhibit in the Smithsonian. It is in the American History Museum. It is dude, this is crazy. It's in the Hollywood section or movies and cinema section.
Yeah.
Right next to the ruby slippers is the outfit that Felicia wore during the Date My Avatar video. Her avatar's outfit.
It's more than a little bit of an existential mindfuck to be in a museum while you still live. It's a bizarre feeling.
I see.
Vince, you don't have to spend all that time in the museum. You realize that, right?
It's
you don't have
all
to stay
I
in
have
the
going
case,
for me.
man.
It took us so long to get Vince on the show because he's not allowed to come to life until the nighttime when all the patrons leave.
Oh man, I love it. Did you actually go, Vince? Oh yeah, we all went to the open, right? Of it?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh. Where the fuck were you when we all went to the open?
I didn't even hear about that. I don't know.
You weren't invited.
Shit.
What an awkward interview this has become. Let me just...
Should update my email on that, whatever list that was.
Ago. I don't remember anymore.
I remember getting a text after that it happened.
Well,
I remember what we just happened to have a convention in DC that it was me and Jeff were invited to.
What convention was
Vince,
this?
It was AwesomeCon.
AwesomeCon's great. I've been to that one as well. We did the whole thing as a cast as well one time.
So that's what that's what I'm saying. I thought you were there. Listen, guys, I had a kid. There's a pandemic. I don't remember shit, but I thought you were there.
Okay, the Guild has been to AwesomeCon more than once. Once it was just a couple of you. Once it was the whole cast.
It was. I will say this: the first time I ever had weed gummies was because of Jeff Lewis at AwesomeCon.
Fuck. Okay, I was there for that one.
This is what I'm saying.
I remember them kicking in at dinner.
So you're telling me you were there, and they're like, "We're gonna go to our unveiling at the Smithsonian," and Vince, you're like, "Nah, I'm good."
Here's the problem is I have no memory of that, so I have to assume I was invited and either didn't hear or ignored the invitation.
That's fair.
That's awful.
I don't think it was like a big unveiling. I think it was just like you could go to the museum and see it. I'm sure Felicia was invited to some cool thing that we were not. It was just, I went to go see it. Take a picture of yourself at the fucking Smithsonian.
Okay, we're doing a lot of bits, but it is wild. How does it feel to know that brown kids visiting Washington, D.C., going to the Smithsonian, will go see a picture of the Guild and point to it and go, "Parents, I want to grow up to be like him," when they're pointing at Vince Caso? How do you think that makes you feel?
It's pretty fucked up. I honestly, I want to be that. Yeah, I want to be that preteen Vince Caso. Is what I.
Dude, nobody wants to be
Vince
that
Caso.
guy.
I've known him since you were. How old were you when we met? 14? You were 14?
Oh, 14 or 15, yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. It was wild. What a wild experience that was.
I'm so glad I got that part, because in the beginning I was not good. So I'm so glad I got that.
I don't think that's true. I think you were always quite good at playing a little shit. You were playing just like this little frickish, one of those like trolls. You were playing an absolute online troll.
I'm just glad that like the very
you
wooden
nailed that role.
smarminess worked so well for the character in the first couple seasons.
Yeah. I don't think any of us knew what the hell we were doing. Like,
Oh,
you were
God,
fine.
no.
We were getting paid in bagels at first.
Nice.
But Vince, you also are a magician.
It's true.
Vince can do some sick magic tricks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you impressing Neil Patrick Harris.
No.
Yeah,
Oscar hosting Neil Patrick Harris?
At one of our first
The one, the only.
SDCCs, we attended a screening of Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog
Heard
with
of it.
Joss Whedon, NPH, Nathan Fillion was there as well, and we all went to a bar afterwards, and we're
Yeah,
doing. Neil and I were like tag teaming doing magic for an exceptionally drunk Joss Whedon.
Yeah, that's right. You guys were like going back and forth. And now you're like, we're dueling wizards, basically. It was like Vince Caso and Neil
That's
Patrick
great.
Harris.
A lot of you watching are like, oh, is it like close-up magic where it's, oh, is this your card? No, folks, they were both like trapped on the top of a tower. Vince had to whisper to a moth and had to wait for his escape.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty wild, man. And Neil Patrick Harris is Voldemort, man. He just really... No, I'm kidding. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Why don't we get into a little bit of your kind of creative journey? That's part of what we try to do in this segment is, what would you call yourself now? I feel like you're a magician, you're a TTRPGer, you've been a streamer, you've been obviously an actor, a writer. Take us through why did you jump into this career? Like, what's motivated you?
in brief, I'd say, in my soul, I am a creative in whatever capacity that comes out in. I think that's true for a lot of people as well. Most of us are not just a single thing. But for me, it's from childhood, I was always an absolute fucking ham and willing to do whatever I had to do to soak up the attention of the moment whenever I could, from school plays to other little bits to playing pretend with my friends and designing the fictional worlds myself for all of our little games. That's been my life this whole time. When I found out you can do that to some degree professionally, I dove headfirst into acting, auditioning, and getting my first couple films, first couple shows, the Guild and all that. And since then, Lord knows, yeah, my life's had some funky ups and downs, wearing a lot of hats, doing a lot of random ass shit, a lot of weird careers.
Yeah.
Oh, for those of you listening, just FYI, he's wearing a hat right now.
He's got his
yeah.
on.
To sum up, obviously, a lot of us who are in like the improv or entertainment space have also dipped a toe or dove headfirst into the TTRPG space because it's a way for us to perform, and has a very low barrier to entry, low cost of entry, and it allows us to ham it up, have fun, put out content, and work with other people who we love. So naturally, I did tend toward that, especially when the pandemic started. We started an online series, a streaming series called Failed Save. Did that for several years, but these days, I do love TTRPGs. I'm still doing them. I do write content for that field. Actually, a game that I wrote for just came out called Adventure Party. But you basically play a single round of combat or a single round of actions in this hypothetical scenario, and that's all it is, that one round and then the resolution. But then it's gamified in the sense of you also are placing bets on. But you're essentially betting on the outcomes of other people's roles based on how they narrate their action. So it has a fun, slightly playing off each other, playing against each other, but also is great for players new to D&D because it teaches you how to narrate or describe your action in a way that is very accurate to the role that you got. And it's very fun. The game's out now. Awesome. But yeah, these days it's focusing more on acting, writing, and production, traditional media. That's where I have always found myself the happiest. Voiceover, live action, and writing. And so these days I'm working on multiple short films. I've got 7 TV pilots I'm trying to pitch and get out there. Auditioning, a voiceover, and live action, and I'm working on a novel.
I feel so lazy now.
Yeah, I started making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich today.
So you're spinning lots of plates. Let me ask about the TTRPG thing because, Vince, I think I really saw, for a while, you were just this punk-ass kid.
Oh.
This 14-year-old, your parents were nice, your sister was cooler than you. And
Still is.
His sister Tara was also on the guild, which was great. And I just really, from my perspective, seeing you run these games and DMing is, you're like, that's our boy. It's incredible. I really think you're an unbelievable DM. I just was absolutely floored. You were this kid who, like, kept ruining takes because you kept laughing at all the improv that Jeff and I were doing or whatever. And we're like, we love Vince, but if he could, like, not ruin this take, it'd be really great. To this guy who, like, is a weaver of worlds, and I said this before, and I truly mean it. I was like, dude, you got, like, Brennan Lee Mulligan vibes. Like a really incredible gift at building a universe. You do it in such a fun, funny way, because now I've played a few games with you. So good at taking everyone's little crazy dumb ideas and then actually pushing it through the narrative and having it, like, almost like those Play-Doh factories come out the other side as, oh wow, we made a whole feast out of this thing. It's an art form, and I've just seen you absolutely own it. I love playing games with you. Tell me from your perspective, like, what's the trick? Give me some secret sauce to DMing and doing this stuff, being a weaver of worlds.
First of all, you're so kind. Thank you so much. People talk about imposter syndrome, which I'm thankfully not as affected by an idea that success or adulation is undeserved, but that there is always so much more credit due than just given to one person. And for me, I always feel like I'm clinging by my fingertips off the shoulders of giants. When it comes to improv, for example, like, you know me, I didn't know shit when I was doing the guild, and so much of my character and my personality as an improv came from absorbing what you and Jeff Lewis were doing and how you guys did that. And as a DM, as a role player, started out once again pretty shit, and then really took the time to absorb what great people were doing and how they played, and having enough of a lack of ego to realize you always can get better and you should never endeavor to be the smartest person in the room. And Omar as well has been a massive inspiration for me as a role player. I think he's one of the best actual play role players around right now in the business, which is why I was so desperate to have him on any show that I make, and at all the live performances that we were doing as well.
Great speech, Vince. What would you say is your least favorite class?
My least favorite D&D class, because it should be one of my favorites, and that is the Beastmaster Ranger.
Okay.
Where the idea of having animal companions, being able to build, like, this cadre of friends around you that you can not manipulate, but, like, use in combat and for various actions, that should be such a wonderful experience for a player. But as written in Raw, they're so underpowered and so just difficult and clunky to use. Hopefully, the next edition is going to be handling that. But, it's not
friend of the show, Dale Kingsmill, has a whole thing about that. I would highly recommend messaging
another
your
giant,
friend.
by the way.
Your friend.
Dale Kingsmill also, my God, her videos were absolutely pivotal to me in the beginning of my DMing career. Like, even if I didn't use, like, every single little technique and development that she pioneered in that content, it's just her perspective on DMing as an art form and how technical and precise that she gets with it made me realize the way that I should be approaching that craft. And I'm eternally grateful to her for that.
It is, if folks, if you don't know, head over to Monarch's Factory over on YouTube. Dale has just some of the best. It's not even like, here's how you play kind of stuff, which it is, but it's also, here's how you can take the core concept of it and just go and go off to the races with it. Different ways to play, different ways to, like, create horror or comedy or terrain.
Just one viewer submitted question for you there, Vince, to close this thing out. How does it feel to have the middle name Elizabeth?
I don't even remember when this fucking started. I think it was Anthony Carboni who kicked that off. Just calling me Vincent Elizabeth Caso. It's a great middle name. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I appreciate Anthony Carboni for naming me.
Can you settle this once and for all? Is it Caso or Caso?
I hate that you don't know.
Caso. I know. This is for the viewers at home. I know what it is.
Colloquially,
I know it's the cheese, queso.
Everyone always mispronounces my name, Queso. And it's not cheese. It's traditionally here in America we say Caso, but if you're saying it more correctly, it'd be the Roman vowel, so Caso. But all the actual family says Caso.
I'd just like you to go back to the beginning of this interview. Play the tape on that, if any of this actually recorded.
None of it got through, man.
You will find that I said Caso. So I did say it with the fucking Roman. And by the way, as a guy who's constantly called Sandeep, even though it's Sundeep, even by my friends.
Oh, man.
I get it. I feel your pain. Listen, the A is a tricky letter. It's a tricky-ass letter. And
it's
at least in Hindi, right, like, we have 56 letters.
Oh, wow.
As opposed to the American 26, right? So there's a lot of mapping that has to occur when we anglicize people's names. And it's not close to one, right? So for those of you out there, if you meet a South Asian person, likely, and they have an A in their name, likely, even though that's not really true for Omar now, I just realized, right? It's not Omar. Is it Omar? Is the correct pronunciation?
Oh my God,
sound?
here we go again. This is Hindi class 101. Listen, I started writing my name in Hindi 101, which was an 8 a.m. class, by the way, 4 days a week. Thank you very much. I took that at UCSB. I party hard, but I work harder. And I was writing it, and my teacher was like, I think you're pronouncing your name wrong. And I went, oh, and I forgot what it was.
Listen, I'll tell you this. The way that you should pronounce your name is the way that you do pronounce your name. Congratulations.
Honest to God, though, and this is not even a bit, I really feel like the kids should be taught at least a basic understanding of IPA, of the International Phonetic Alphabet, in school.
Oh, I thought you meant the beer.
Just learn to speak Hindi, dude. Hindi is a syllabic language. You cannot mispronounce a word because every actual character is one single sound.
I like Japanese for the same reason. It's very easy to pronounce once you just know what the sounds are. They really don't vary much.
Okay, I would like to speak on behalf of everyone else. Y'all, those languages are hard as hell to learn. I understand that you three geniuses can just flip open a book a la Doctor Who and absorb this, but...
I can't, obviously, because I don't speak either of those languages that well. But I did do well in Hindi in college. I got an A in both semesters.
Amazing.
So that's what really matters.
Speaking of languages, dialects, different cultural, regional annotations, I would like to say, just really quickly, I want to embarrass him to high hell. Vince is one of the greatest living GMs. It needs to be said. I genuinely, this is not a bit. I feel like you don't get your flowers nearly enough. It is crazy to me, as someone who's had the absolute pleasure of being at your table, it is bonkers to me that people are not constantly celebrating you and also using you as like a studyable bar at the level that I see some other folks. There's no reason to get in our heads about it, but I do just want to say Vince is, if you have the ability to watch any of the shows or any of the games that Vince has run, or if Vince is appearing at a convention near you and is doing a live game, get that ticket.
I was going to say that you can play with Vince through Play with the Pros.
You play with the pros, play with this pro, because Vince is the kind of GM who has a fully built out imagined universe, is able to improvise on the fly so that you can feel like this universe is also catered to you and you are an organic member of this environment. Also, with all that serious hard work, just plays for the goofs. And if there's just a real badonk behind that is popping up as a joke, Vince can roll with that. Vince can make that happen. I cannot recommend highly enough. Vince truly is one of the greatest GMs, which is why we are going to force him to now play in our game, which will be one of the worst run games you have ever experienced in your entire life. This is called Omar's Fantastical Text-Based Gauntlet of 1,000 Nightmares.
What a transition.
Let's go.
Oh, the graphic.
Delvin went all out. Delvin went all out.
There's a whole
thing. Folks,
if you're listening on the audio podcast, you're going to have to jump into the YouTube and check these graphics.
Yeah, I will be reading this out to you. Don't worry.
This will be fully narrated. Don't worry.
This will be fully narrated. But for those listening, flashy intro, beautiful graphics, beautiful 1987 graphics. Delvin has gone all out on this. In terms of people getting their flowers, I 100% cannot sing the praises of Delvin enough. Did this today in a matter of a couple hours before the show. Sandeep, Vince, I'm going to run you through a game that Delvin and I found. This isn't ours. we did a lot of deep digging at digital thrift stores to find this game. Ignore the fact that this happens to be called Omar's Fantastical Text-Based Gauntlet of 1,000 Nightmares.
Purely
It has nothing to do with me.
Amazing.
Nothing to do with me. You will be going through a text-based adventure. I will be reading out to you what's going on. We can discuss a little bit. I am stuck to a script. This is a text-based adventure. There's only so much I can do to help you, okay? If you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them, but keep in mind this isn't my game. I didn't make this up. I just found it. Are you both ready to enter into the world of Omar's Fantastical Text-Based Gauntlet of 1,000 Nightmares?
I'm so fucking ready.
Shit. Oh, okay.
All right.
I didn't know if that was a trick question. I didn't know if they were already in the game. I was okay.
Whoa.
I'm ready.
Commit.
You wake up in a tavern. Actually, I can read this right off of here. You wake up in a tavern. The establishment is dimly lit with an assortment of patrons from different regions speaking languages you cannot comprehend. The barkeep, Elkin, asks you in a gruff voice, "Greetings, traveler. My name is Elkin. Perhaps you'll be wanting a beverage before you start your adventure of seeking out the cursed diamond. What be your order?"
I'll have an IPA.
You order an IPA?
Yeah.
I'm
Extra
down
hoppy.
with that.
Okay, that's not in our menu, unfortunately.
Hold on, first of all, I love that it screamed the response at you. I'm sorry, I don't know how to order IPA. Can I get the cheese plate?
Cheese plate. Okay, let's see if we can get you a cheese plate.
Scream. So hold
sorry, I
on.
don't
Let me
know.
just clarify. For this adventure, there's a correct answer.
Okay, so you're typing it in, just for people at home, you're typing it in, what we're saying, and then it's giving us a response, and those last two responses said, I'm
Yeah.
sorry we don't have that.
Yeah.
Can I order a cursed diamond?
That was what I was going to say.
Great.
Let's just wrap the
Order
sucker
a
up.
cursed Diamond?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Elkin responds,
okay.
"I will give you the diamond in exchange for the crystal sword."
Great. I want
Okay.
to ask, where is
I had
the
high
crystal
hopes you were
sword?
going to find that, Vince.
I think I'm going with Sandeep. Would you say, where's the crystal sword? Ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Where is that?
Okay. We're typing in "where's the crystal sword." You ask Elkin, "Where's the crystal sword?" I'm sorry, I don't know how to "where's the
know
crystal
how.
sword."
Give
Okay, how
crystal
about give
sword?
crystal
Yeah.
sword? Yeah.
I think we have it. This is the end of our adventure.
Yeah, we got this.
Now's the test of whether or not I put the logic to check to see if you've got it or not.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to give crystal sword.
How about check inventory?
Oh, I like that.
Okay. I will say you both check your inventory. You currently do not have any items in your inventory. Were you to leave the tavern, you might be able to find items for your inventory.
Okay, how about
plot
go north? I just feel like
I
it's
hope
one of
that's
those,
where the door
right?
is.
Going to go north?
Who cares?
Okay.
Nope.
You cannot go that way.
Leave tavern?
You would try to leave the tavern. You exit the establishment to find yourself
nice.
at the center of the meeting of four roads. One road leads north, where you hear the sound of rushing
Here we
river.
go.
One road leads south. First of all, Sandeep, first of all, I'm reading. Second of all, when you tried to go north, you ran into a wall, okay? You were inside the tavern. Now you are outside. You exit the establishment to find yourself at the center of the meeting of four roads. One road leads north, where you hear the sound of rushing river. One road leads south, where you make out the snowy peaks of mountains. To your east is a simple plain. To your west is a bog. Which way do you travel?
What a diverse biome.
Can we not go to the bog? Like, why do you ever choose the bog? Don't choose the bog.
Sandeep, I want to go with your gut. I think
Oh, yeah?
north is the ticket.
Okay, great.
Let's go to the rushing
Agreed,
water.
going north?
Okay.
Yeah.
You travel north and are stopped by a raging river. How do you attempt to cross? I will, since we haven't loaded it, I will tell you what is in your inventory now.
Yeah.
One
Oh,
of you
we all of a sudden got stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it loaded. One of you
Cool.
has a large stone. The other has a boat.
Okay, I
I-
presume one of these will come in more handy here.
I'm so tempted to skip the stone across the lake. Okay.
I want to try swimming. Will it let me do that?
Oh my
You can try
gosh.
swimming.
It's a raging river. It's not a kind. Continue?
Nope.
Oh,
Okay.
you can't
Use
die.
boat.
Okay.
Let's
We
just
can't
use
die.
boat.
Let's use the boat. Yeah, absolutely.
You unleash a boat into the water. The rapids send the boat into the air, crashing into a river nymph that curses you and strikes you with a water bolt. You turn to sparkle dust.
Oh my God!
Fuck.
You wake up in a tavern. The establishment is dimly lit with an assortment of patrons
God.
from different regions speaking languages you cannot comprehend. The barkeep Elkin asks you in a gruff voice, "Greetings, traveler. My name is
my
Elkin.
God.
Perhaps you'll be
This
wanting a beverage before you start your
You
adventure
guys,
seeking
I'm sorry,
out the
but
first time."
this
What
has
be
to
your
be
order?
bonus content. Okay, this can't be a part of the episode. I can already hear Anand, our producer, yelling at us that this episode's too long.
We cut the news. This part has to go in. I assure you this is gold.
Okay, I have an idea. Let's leave the tavern, first of all. And second,
You exit the
Sandeep,
establishment to find yourself at the center of, and you can skip dialogue if you want.
Sandeep, I think I was wrong. I think the opposite of your gut is correct.
Yeah, go
Whatever
bog.
you want to do, we should do the opposite.
Go west, go west.
Let's go to the bog.
Okay.
to the bog.
You travel west and arrive at the mouth of a skull cave. The entrance is
shit.
blocked by a tree and a stone in a language you cannot comprehend. What do you do?
Open Duolingo. Learn
Move tree? Can we shift move the tree?
Use tree. Yeah, use that tree.
Okay,
Use it.
you use tree. I'm sorry,
I'm
I don't know how to
sorry.
use tree.
Yeah, stop fucking yelling at me in all caps. Okay, how about entrance block?
Smash stone? We have a big rock in our inventory, right?
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know
do
how-
we still have the stone? And
Yeah, you still have the large stone in your inventory.
okay, all right.
Okay,
we
you
use
use
that?
the stone.
Yeah, I like
Let's
it.
do it,
Why not?
yeah.
Okay. The tree is insulted by your gift and curses you. You are hit by a
Fuck.
tree bolt and you turn
Fuck.
to sparkle dust.
What's all these bolts?
You wake up in a tavern. The establishment is dimly lit with a...
Okay, skip cutscene. Leave tavern.
You exit the establishment
Go
to
south.
find yourself in
Yep,
the center.
We're gonna get dusted. In
You
every
travel
one
south
of
and
these.
face an uphill journey. Traversing the mountains, you get to a large canyon, breaking your path. How do you attempt to cross? Your inventory, as a reminder, you have a large stone and a bridge.
Okay.
We're gonna fucking die again.
We're gonna die again.
Use the
Absolutely.
bridge.
Okay. Use
Yeah.
bridge. Yeah.
Because
great
we went
idea.
the direction where we need that.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
You sent out the bridge to connect one side of the canyon to the other. The bridge is not long enough and falls onto the head of a giant. The giant curses you and strikes you with a mountain bolt. You turn to sparkle dust. You wake up in a tavern.
I
The
hate this
establishment is
game.
dimly lit with a...
Leave.
You exit the establishment to find yourself at the center of
Okay.
the meeting of four rounds.
Go east.
It's the last one, right?
It's the last one, and I wonder if. Okay, let's see what we get now.
You travel
In
east
the
and arrive
tavern.
at the Eternal Bog. You cannot
the
easily traverse
opposite.
the expansive wetland. How do you attempt to cross?
Okay, let's use the opposite of the thing we think we should use.
Okay,
You have a
what is
blimp
our-
and a large stone.
We have
We
what?
have a what in a
A
stone?
blimp and a large stone.
Use large stone.
Yes, you stone the blimp will kill us.
Okay. A little odd. You drop the large stone into the bog. A bog witch rises from the still water and says, "I accept your gift." The waters
Let's
part and you
go.
make your way across the expanse.
Now I want to know if we
go.
could do that in the other ones.
Probably.
You arrive at the Blood Dungeon. A were-knight,
God.
a wolf that turns into a knight under the full moon, leaps at you and shrieks, "Where is my locket?" How do you respond?
Give Locket.
Do we have? Yeah. What's in our inventory? Do we get a
In your
lot of it?
inventory, you currently only have a blimp.
Use blimp.
The were-knight, a wolf that turns into a knight under the full moon, leaps at you and shrieks, "Where's my locket?" and curses you. You're hit by the wolf bolt and turn into a sparkle dust.
Hey, at least this is a wolf boat this time.
Wolf bolts
bolt.
are pretty dope.
You wake up in a tavern. The establishment is fully lit.
Leave.
You exit the
Okay.
establishment to find yourself at the center.
Let's
of
go.
the meeting of
I want to
four
try
rows.
this. Go north.
Go north. Our
Use
first
stone.
instinct.
You travel north and are stopped by a raging river.
Skip,
How do you
skip.
attempt to cross?
Use
Use
stone.
large stone.
You drop the large stone into raging
Okay.
waters. A river nymph rises from the channel and says, "I accept your gift." The river parts and you are granted access to the other bank.
Great.
I like it.
Got
I like it.
You arrive at the house of the fabled wizard. She emerges from the estate and asks, "What do you seek, travelers? A crystal sword? A key? Knowledge?"
Oh, my
crystal-
God.
Oh, hold on. Let's not just jump.
let's-
you seek the crystal
Let's not be
sword.
hasty.
Let's not be hasty.
We know
What
what
if we
we
just
want.
seek? Should we seek knowledge?
We don't
first
want
and
her to
like-
know what we want.
I love that. Let's get
This
some
is a
knowledge.
trick.
Okay. You seek knowledge.
Old people love to just give you knowledge, and
Yes.
they love to speak wisdom. So let's get knowledge.
Give me a knowledge
and
bolt.
then-
The wizard gives you what you wish, but in doing so curses you and strikes you with a magic bolt. You turn to sparkle dust. You wake up in a tavern. The establishment is dimly lit with an assortment of patrons from different regions speaking languages, all of which you can comprehend. The barkeep Elkin asks you in a gruff voice, "Greetings, traveler. My name is Elkin. Perhaps you'll be wanting a beverage before you start your adventure of seeking out the cursed diamond."
This bitch is Undertale!
Holy shit. Okay.
Okay. This is Edge of Tomorrow, motherfucker. Let's do this.
So now we can understand what they're saying. So let's go back to that place where we didn't know the language, the tree and the stone.
On the stone, yeah.
Okay, but first, should we order a beer?
Oh, yeah.
We never ordered any. Let's try to order one. Okay.
You order one beer.
What just order
beer?
Or
one beer?
Order beer?
Order beer.
Okay.
That's probably worse.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to order one beer.
I think we're going to go west.
Leave. Just leave. Yeah, leave. And then go west.
You exit the establishment to find yourself at the center of the... You travel west and arrive at the mouth of the Skull Cave. The entrance is blocked by a tree and a stone that reads, "Place upon me a gift and speak politely. The entrance will be revealed." What do you do?
So can we give it the gift of the stone?
Yeah, use stone. Use large stone or whatever it is that we have here.
The tree is insulted by your gift and curses you. You were hit by a tree bolt and turned to sparkle dust.
Motherfucker.
I do feel like I need to point out that's what you did the last time you were there.
Oh, we did?
But I thought now that we
before you even read the thing, you used the stone there.
Okay, give
let's
him the
be
other
clear.
gift.
But I thought now with the knowledge, we would know to give the gift and then also speak politely this time.
What if, can we go?
What if we try and get other gifts from the wizard?
Yeah, like a key or some shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You exit the establishment to find yourself at the center of the meeting of four roads.
Right.
One road leads
Let's
north
go.
where you...
Go north. Now I want to solve.
You travel north and are stopped by a raging river. How do you
Use large rock.
You arrive at the house of the fabled wizard. She emerges from the estate and asks, "What do you seek, travelers? A crystal sword, a key, knowledge?"
I feel like... Okay, look, I just want to know. It's probably going to kill us. I just want to ask for the crystal sword and see what happens.
Ask for the crystal sword. Let's go.
The wizard gives you what you wish, but in doing so
we have
curses
the
you and
crystal
strikes
sword.
you with a
Oh, we
magic
fucking
bolt. You
have
turn
it.
to
Great.
sparkle dust.
We go back to the tavern. Give crystal sword.
You wake up in the tavern. The establishment is dimly lit with an assortment of patrons from different regions, all speaking languages, of all of which you can comprehend. Elkin accepts your gift. I accept your gift, and I give you this information. Check your inventory. You retrieve the large stone. It is in this light that you realize that the large stone you have been carrying has been the cursed diamond the entire time.
Wow.
Wow.
And you know what? Just like Baldur's Gate 3, I feel like there are so many hidden depths to this game we simply never plumbed.
I just want to play again and again and again as different characters.
The sheer replayability.
Different types of beer.
And different types of beer.
I hated that.
Okay, as someone who grew up playing and was raised by text RPGs, like, I was a homeschool kid for a lot of my teenage years. I played text-based RPGs, fucking Ardmud, fucking all those greats for so long. I love that genre.
I did too. So we had the TI-85 calculator. Like, that's how I learned how to program in those things. I made those text-based games based upon my brother. My older brother, he used to have an Apple IIc, and him and his nerdy friend Colin, they would just make these, like, awesome text-based games where you always, in all of their games, you woke up hungover and threw up to start. Didn't matter where this place is. You wake hungover on a pirate ship. You throw up. What do you want to do next?
How old
Okay.
were all of y'all?
Well, they were 10 years older than me. So I was,
okay.
like, probably 7, and they were, like, 17.
Right what you know. Yeah.
Right what you know. Right what you know.
That was exceptional. The twist of the stone, I'm still reeling.
Vince, thank you so much for joining us and running that insane dungeon with me. Vince, where can people find you?
You can find me all over the place. Threads, Twitter, everywhere. It's all just Vince Caso. I am on Twitch, twitch.tv/Vince Caso. I don't stream much.
Listen, if you need a game to play on Twitch, we got one for you.
I think I might specialize. It's just that text RPG.
See if you can speed run it. I dare you.
Oh, God. But yeah, that's me.
Vince, we've had quite enough tonight. Vince, we cannot thank you enough. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for chatting about your life, and thank you for playing that game. Buddy, we will see you in the near future. We got many conventions coming up and some shows. And there might be one coming up that I might have a little creative hand in that I might be bothering you about. Something to do with 2 GMs, 2 players, but only 2 people. So we're simultaneously the GM and the players at the same time.
Oh, fun! Hell yeah, I'm down.
Amazing. Vince, we'll talk to you in a little bit, but have a great night.
Thank you all for having me.
That was so great. Sandeep, what do you say we head over to our Desi of the Week?
Let's do that. Hey, our Desi of the Week is Payo Kapadia, winner of the Grand Prix Award at the 2024 Cannes Film Festival for All We Imagine as Light. Filmmaker Payo Kapadia made history by becoming the first person from India to win the prestigious Grand Prix, the second highest prize after the Palme d'Or. Pretty cool.
That's right. This is a drama centered on 2 nurses navigating life, love, and sisterhood in Mumbai. It's the first Indian movie in 3 decades to compete in Cannes' main competition. Payo Kapadia is a Mumbai-based filmmaker who studied film directing at the Film and Television Institute of India.
Her acceptance speech included a plea, and here's a quote, "Please don't wait another 30 years to have an Indian film." I think that's reasonable. I think it's a reasonable request. The win has been hugely celebrated across India, with many on social media and top politicians remarking on its significance, including the Prime Minister Narendra Modi praising Kapadia's historic feat and her talent, and then Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the main opposition political party, congratulating her. Anasuya Sengupta, the first Indian actor to win Best Actress at Cannes. Let's go.
Let's absolutely go. Congratulations on being the Desi of the Week.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. We have a runner-up for Desi of the Week. Bruhat Soma, who is 12 years old and won the Scripps National Spelling Bee in a spell-off.
Yeah. It's like penalty kicks, but for spelling bee.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know they did that.
A 12-year-old from Tampa, Florida, bested competition Thursday with his spelling of abseal, a word used to describe descending a vertical surface area with a rope attached to one's body. Someone spelled 29 out of 30 words correctly in the spell-off. This is Scripps' second ever spell-off, in which competitors have 90 seconds to spell as many words given to them as possible.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so they just get a bunch of words. They just got to spell like crazy. I got to see that. Okay, this was Soma's 3rd year in the National Spelling Bee. I also didn't know that. I didn't know that you can keep competing. I'm learning so much. He last year tied for 74th place. The first year tied for 163rd place. So that's quite a leap up to number 1. Pretty incredible. Yeah, this is huge. Someone's going to receive 50 G's.
Oh my
cash.
God.
In cash. It just comes in a briefcase. I love it. From Scripps, a medal and a trophy among several other prizes. I wonder what these several other prizes are. And here's a slinky.
Soma, congratulations. Absolutely incredible.
Huge.
That is so rad. Bruhat Soma, congratulations on being the runner-up of Desi of the Week.
Alrighty, and that's the show. As always, our one big ask for you, dear listener, is just find one person in your life who you think would love this show and share it with them. Okay? We're not asking for comments. We're not asking for anything. That's just share the love.
Share the love and share the love with us, because we want to feature you in the show. Send us a question that you want some culturally specific advice on, and we'll answer it. We'll answer it poorly, but we'll answer it on the
100%.
show. You can write in or even send us a quick audio file of the question. Tell us your name and where you're from, and send it to abcdpodcastshow@gmail.com.
All right, now it's our time to shout out to our Patreons and listeners. Let's go. Okay, what's our genre? Do we have a genre from chat?
Yes, the genre that was suggested from chat comes from some of our guests' community, and you are to read them as if you are sussing them out in Among Us.
Oh.
Okay. All right. All right, first of all, let me tell you about Joshua Orion. Okay, I'm pretty sure when Tal BM Carlo and Benjamin Lowe were murdered in the library, I'm pretty sure Joshua Orion was the last one there.
That's interesting. I saw Miranda Hollinger and Michael Long playing with the wires, but Ray Lynn Fox was just staring at the window while Selena B was by the transporter.
Yeah, no, and I'm pretty sure Nervous Rex, there's got to be at least two baddies here, and I'm pretty sure Nervous Rex, I don't know, could be Sarah H. Also, Varun looked kind of... Well, Moldivort was doing this thing where he was just, like, pretending to do the task, and then Philip dies on, I'll never trust him.
I did watch Kathleen Schlegel, Ducati, and Reverend Catino go into the vents several times and then appear where bodies were. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, that's weird because Brandon Pace told me that Monroe Maxwell told them, that Jeremy Schwartz told them, that APD told them, that Chris Sims told them that Dan Wally was definitely a baddie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm willing to vote out Jeremy O'Brien and Astra just on the simple basis of possibly putting some heat on Brendan Bradley.
For sure. And just to shout out our gods, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that these people are definitely innocent because they've been with me the entire time and they could have killed me. Mark Tucker, Hannah Lehman, James Gaffney, Scribbles and Flapjacks, and Vaden, and they didn't kill me, but they totally could have, but they didn't.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I can heart clear them.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
In that case, it's time to vote, folks. I think it's Sandeep.
No, it is me. It actually is me. It's been me the whole time. You didn't be you sons of bitches. All right.
Folks, this show is produced and edited by Anand Shah. The show's technical director and sound designer is Delvin Neville. The show's executive producers are Sandeep, Parikh, and Anand Shah. This has been an EffinFunny production.
On behalf of our lowly co-host, Omar Najam, I've been Sandeep. May your chakras be aligned and smothered in sweet, sweet, delicious chutney.